Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to a weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 12th Commitments of Traders report of 2025. And as we always do, we shall start out by looking at the largest changes in commercials net positions. But before I jump there, I just want to remind you, if you're new to COT analysis here at COTBase.com, you will find a lot of educational material. We have these in written format and video format as well. If you need further assistance, we offer consultations. But of course, you can comment underneath the video or send us an email to info@cotbase.com. Let's get started. We've got the dollar index on top of our list when it comes to largest changes in net positions in commercials. We're of course talking about three main trader categories: commercials, large speculators, and small speculators. We're analyzing the classic COT report type, futures and options data combined. Let's get started with the dollar index. 47% change over here. Mind you, this is the COT data on the dollar index futures and options. The reason I'm emphasizing this, I'll show you in a second, is we actually have another way of analyzing the dollar index. But let's start with this data. So here we have a much greater than average change, a bullish COT change signal suggesting strengthening in the near term. The last time we had a significant, much larger than average bullish change signal was actually at these bottoms just preceding this rise in the dollar index. You can see a larger than average bearish COT change signal. So it seems as if these COT change signals don't happen too often in the dollar index, but when they do, they are efficient. Moving to a 5 years chart, you can see that we are a little bit closer to bullish COT Extreme levels. Now, we did create the true US dollar index at COTBase.com, which is an interesting tool. We combine the individual currency futures because we understand the dollar index is representing a basket of currencies, and we combined these individual future currencies data into one complex COT data. This is what you see here, and on the 1 year chart, you can see that there is no larger than average change size. So this does not support what we just saw in the purely dollar index data. But when we combine all the currencies, we do see a much more clearer relative bullish COT Extreme. And what I mean by relative is it's not at an all-time, or like it's not huge, but it's definitely visible. And this supports higher prices coming in the next few weeks. Of course, if we had an extreme, something like this, or another example, then that would be even more obvious of a signal. We're not there just yet, but sometimes even these, when we're coming off a bearish COT Extreme and we get a dynamic shift in traders' net positions, then we may reach a relative bullish COT Extreme. So this is another way of analyzing the dollar index. And then let me move on to our own iCOT Intraday Indicator. I'm going to use TradingView platform. This is the Euro US dollar currency pair, just to analyze a currency pair. I'm going to add the iCOT scores chart, which is like sort of like a COT index. It is not actual data from CFTC. It's our own unique data, bringing COT analysis into the shorter time frames. And I'm going to add this wonderful tool, the iCOT Intraday Indicator, to the chart. I'm just going to tweak a little bit about on the settings. I'm going to target one of the indicators for finding long opportunities based on any type of signal, and the other one I'm going to focus on short opportunities. Now, if you are new to this tool, rest assured there's a lot of information on COTBase.com, and of course great videos as well. But basically what we've done throughout many years of research is bring you COT analysis into the intraday time frame, real-time data. This is a 1 hour candlestick chart on the Euro US dollar currency pair. I'm going to show you a 15-minute candlestick chart. You can see how these vertical red lines coincide with bearish stress level readings. You can see as the market's coming down, we're getting bullish readings. It works on basically any time frame. This is going to be a 1 minute candlestick chart. Look at that sell signal at the top. So it's quite effective on very short time frames, and it uses COT analysis concepts that we are used to. So it's a great tool. If you have not yet seen it, then I would advise you to give it a try. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Let's move on to our next market, the South African Rand, with a 30% change in commercials net positions. This again, of course, we're back to classic COT data analysis based on the weekly data that's published by CFTC. So on the 1 year chart, you can see I switched back to a 1 year chart. The change in traders net positions becomes more clear. This is a bearish COT change signal. On South African Rand, the last time we had a much greater than average bearish COT change signal was back here in September of 2024. It was a little bit early, but you can see it sort of preceded the top on this 1 year chart. We had a bullish COT change signal, again a little bit early. So maybe this is going to be a bit early, and we need to wait maybe a week before the market reacts to what traders are doing. Switching to a 5 years chart, you can see that there's not really a significant extreme to talk about. I'd say the bullish stresses that we witnessed in early February, early part of this year are pushing the market higher. They weren't as significant as the one from May of 2023, I'd say. But anyways, there's no extreme really to analyze. Moving on to heating oil, a 29% change in heating oil and commercials net positions, of course. Let's go to the 1 year chart. Here we go. So it's a greater than average change size, and it is suggesting further rallies to come. Moving to a 5 years chart, you can see that the market, or traders actually, I should say the traders, commercials and large speculators, net positions are indicating more of a bullish stress in the market. We have seen greater extremes in the past. We still have some space left to reach those levels, but it's there. Moving on to large speculators COT Extreme analysis, we have feeder cattle on top of our list with an all-time COT Extreme in large speculators net position. So this is increasing and increasing. It is, of course, a bearish COT Extreme in the market. We've got an all-time in small speculators, or as CFTC calls them, non-reportables. Don't forget, a lot of commercial participants are actually categorized into the non-reportables simply due to the low amount of hedging activity that they're doing. So they may not reach those reporting limits, which would put them into the commercials category. That's why we see the correlation between commercials and small speculators. So anyways, it is a bearish COT Extreme, but as we've learned in COT analysis, all-time COT extremes can be present in the market for weeks or possibly months before the market reacts. This is just a huge warning for you, anybody who's trading feeder cattle, to be cautious if you're long, because there's change coming in the feeder cattle market. Moving on to crude oil, there's a 334 report extreme in the Brent crude oil. It is a bearish COT extreme, suggesting we may see further cooling of the price of crude oil. And then last but not least, we have cocoa with 110 report extreme in large speculators net position. This is the market which we identified not long ago, produced this very rare situation called the commercial capitulation, when commercials are getting margin calls. They have to close their hedge positions, and that fuels the rally. So we've moved away from that, and we are not at a bullish COT Extreme just yet, so I would be cautious taking this as a signal. I think there's space for cocoa to come further down, and this may take months or possibly years, but we will of course examine this when the time comes. That is going to be all for this review. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. And thank you for your attention. I wish you guys will have a wonderful weekend. See you next time.